Okay, anyway, it's a long foundation we talked about before Max was here, correct, Max?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought was you two. I thought I sent you copies. It's the largest one that was requested. We had a gentleman pass away. They're gonna move their child that has passed, and then mom and dad are gonna be in the middle, and they just kind of wanted all one base. Front row, just to fill you guys a little bit in on it, I have no problem digging over it. And instead of us going in and out, I have no problem with the foundation. So I meant to call you guys and see what you thought of, but I didn't think you'd care too much. Like I say, it's no, yeah, Max is here.
Yeah.
I just wanted to draw what it was gonna look like for you, so you know. I don't have any problem getting over any of it to dig back row.
Okay.
So it's just basically one continuous foundation. They used to do it in the old days, but I just wanted to let you guys know. I didn't think you'd care, but I wanted to apologize. You put in the minutes, because I did say I'd call you, and I totally spaced it. I didn't make a call you two, because I think it was just Max and Ellen and I. So anyway, I just want to make that correction. I think that is it. Okay, now, if you would like to go on.
Motion to approve?
Second?
Okay. Anything, Mr. Arthur, or do you want me to
Nope.
just take over?
Go ahead. It's all yours.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
All right, good to see everybody. Really kind of cool. As you go through, I think we talked a little bit before. In the pricing of the last ones, you'll see the old pricing and the current pricing, since we've switched over. One, I may draw your attention before we get started. I forget what page, I'm sorry. Second to last, couple things. If you notice the body to cremation rate in the middle, cremations are on the rise currently. We did 121 so far this year, full bodies, and 62 cremains. With that, straight across on lot changes, you'll see 20 deed transfers and 22 trades. Basically, when we opened up the new road, everybody wanted to go out to the new section. It happens every time. So that's the two things as you're reading you want to kind of look, or don't have to look at. But funerals are steady. Before we get started, we're doing between full body cremations 7 to 8 a week right now. I've done 4. I have 3 on plate for tomorrow, and I have 3 on plate for Monday already, and 1 for next Friday, which is a cremation. But we're not lacking in business anymore right now. We haven't had any laws here for a while, which is sad to say, but it happens, because we're pretty much caught up on the winter cremations. So this is more of what's happening now, just so you know on the difference. We'll go ahead and I'm just going to go down through old business and then into new. Basically, you see we've had it up there. The suggestions still, you want to come out. If there's something you're interested in me doing or whatever, be glad to take a look at it. Love to have another set of eyes. Next year on plate is cold storage. We dropped the building from 40 by 40 to 25 by 40. I'm hoping to get it around 50,000 this winter. I have it almost drawn. Our engineer here can't engineer it. He's a liquid engineer, not a structural. So my goal is to get it done and go talk to Tyler Haynes. He did the last building for me, because I'll have to record it, and then we'll get bids on. If I can stay under 50, I don't have to go through the bid process, is what I'm trying to do. Asphalting roads, just so you know, next year, I'm going to give you what I have appropriated for it. Doesn't mean we're going to hit that max, but I have 30,000 in for asphalt. That's pretty much in the old section. A lot of the old little roads that I'm trying to fix. In stonework in the office, I have that, and around the flags, Legion flags, I have 25,000. Place water lines in the east, that's that new section. We have laid in conduit underneath, but we need to run water and get it out there. So I got to get with Mr. Pazika to put me a shut off in there so we can run. We'll do most of the work, except for that main shut off, hooking that up. So I have 20,000 for that. And in the minutes, I believe, oh no, just in hers. On E, it says 29 evergreens were planted. That's incorrect, will be planted. I picked them up tomorrow. I did I call it a sod buffer back there by the shop. If you've been out with this new road now, the road goes all the way into the old shop. And on the right side, as you're going back, you see my equipment. I put about a 7-foot dirt wall there, and I'm going to put stagger pine trees on top, just to try to block it so people aren't looking at that stuff. why they're out there. Just kind of try to make that a little nice. We cleaned up the ditch and everything. So that's what you see there. That total is right around $1,100.
Hal, back on the cold storage board, you were hoping for 40 by 40. Is there any way to be able to add on to that then in the future?
Oh, we could add on 80.
Okay.
Yep, we could go all the way, Dave,
Okay.
if we wanted to.
Okay, that's fine. That's
So
fine.
you know is, we've already prepped the ground. I was not going to concrete it first, just mainly get the building up.
Right.
The city crushes concrete, so it makes great compaction. So we put in a huge base already.
Okay.
And then tile underneath it, because that's a drain behind there that heads out to that woods.
Right.
You know, me being conservative, the street department had a bunch of water line that it's been out too long, they couldn't use it anymore because the connections went last. Make great 8-inch water line, or sewage, or water. Yeah, so I have run it all the way under my wood pen, and we just keep extending it
Okay.
and then flared it out to do it. So, yeah, we can add more
Well, I
if we
was just
need
thinking
to.
down the road, next year after you get her out to 40 by 40 where you
And I was looking big just to do it. 25 by 40, I think, is really gonna be pretty good for us. That will get stuff out of the main building.
Right.
The big building to create some room for us. It also gets stuff out of the chapel.
Right.
Because I have plans for that I'll talk about in a little bit. That I don't have to store stuff in there.
Right.
As long as it doesn't have to be heated. I just
Right.
get it out of the weather is
Right.
what I
Yeah.
wanna do.
Yeah. Okay.
The stuff lasts longer.
Okay.
When you do that. So yeah, it can be added on anytime.
Okay.
The way it's set up, if you come out, is on my end of my building. Okay, it goes back and it's gonna be back behind.
Okay.
And what I'm gonna do is right there is my fence that goes into our sod farm.
Right.
Is I'm gonna put a gate there, so they don't have to come all the way at the end, that we can go out and
Okay.
use our service stuff instead
Right.
of going all the way around.
Okay, okay.
Is my game plan. So yes.
Thank you.
Anything else? in Cold storage? Nope. Perfect. I'll go in because it's not on here since it's on my mind on that cold storage. The reason I want to get out of the stuff out of the chapel is, you know, we've been dealing with this commingling and I'm waiting on it. We're pouring the foundation on this pour. I was asking funeral homes, a lot of times they get, I don't want to say the word caught, but people won't pick up the ashes, they think they're gone or whatever, and they sit on shelves. Not all funeral homes do, some have it. Well, so I said to them, would you be into me if I put one in commingling, put a wall up, and the loved one can be there, I can have the paperwork so you have closure or they're there somewhere. And they all told me no, because even though they've held on to it for 10 years, if somebody comes in 2 more years and want them, can't do that commingling. He said, we'd love to have a storage. This is and I don't know how much, I've not pursued it yet, but this is how I think. If you walk into the chapel through the double doors, it's this big wall, and then you go to the bathroom, right? Well, where that big wall, of course, is a garage on the other side. I want to put in what they call a vault, which doesn't have to be concrete or big, secure like you do, with a marble front where they can put their loved one urns in there, and we have them recorded, and then they can mark on that wall who's in there, whatever, is my plans. I don't know how much money it is, so I'm not gonna say yay. But that way it'll give funeral homes or people that don't want to bury, that don't mind if, because I don't have to have any rules as long as they're in containers. Gives them a place, it gives them closure, it gives us access for genealogy, that they'll be on our database instead of hanging somewhere or not buried at all. I mean, make it kind of reasonable that they can do it and then they can etch, and that's what I'm looking at. Haven't pursued that yet, I got too much other stuff on the plate.
Yeah.
But I thought, how cool would that be if I could give that service?
Sure.
So it'd be like a column, or like a niche, but it'd be just a big room that would be locked.
Right.
And we would do it from the backside, see, and then just have the wall in front that they could honor their loved ones. Kind of a mini St. Anne's, you know, St. Anne's, they have that in there, but just give the funeral homes and people an option to do.
Good.
So that'll be something, I mean, as far as price and stuff, we'll talk about once I get how much it is and what we gotta do.
Right.
But I think I can build most of it myself, so just something I'm looking at. Okay, we'll go on to new business. We just finished the fourth pour, or not finished the fourth pour before, we're actually framing on the fifth pour. To give you an idea, once this fifth pour is over, we have done 110 foundations. There might be one more, I don't know. Stones are selling quite well right now, so November is usually my shut-off, so I don't know if we get a small pour in after this one or not. The big one, we talked a little bit, you guys weren't here. I brought up about removing the preacher stand. This is just a thought, nothing's happening. Things are starting to fall off and do stuff, and I either have to put some money into it or we take it down. Some people, it's been an icon of the cemetery for a long time. It sits behind the office. It used to be used once a year, not currently. The Legion has used the chapel a couple times, and a couple times they haven't done it with a gentleman in their age. I don't know how long this is going to go on for them to use. Haven't really thought of replacing it if I do, but it's basically is a homeless shelter is what it's used for. And like I say, I'm not talking a ton of money. We get a little vandalism stuff. I got to fix some gutter, put some new doors on down below. The roof isn't bad. I went to a steel roof many years ago. So it's just something to think about, just like your opinions. It doesn't have to be today, of course, whenever. It just a matter is I'm looking at either putting money in it or taking it down. So I'm okay either way with this. So I just wanted to put it out there for you. If you got any comments, that's fine, or we'll move on and you can tell me later how you want to do that.
If you take it down, and because it has been there forever, how much pushback you gonna get from the public?
When they reported the last time, there was a comment in there that somebody said, I don't know how often they come to the cemetery, but just said it was like an icon of the cemetery, had been there, so be a shame. And I'm okay with that, either way.
Sure.
That was the only feedback, I just was going off of their comments when they put in there that people post. But do they live in Warsaw, do they not? I don't know, I'm not gonna research that. I didn't see a lot, doesn't mean I'm not open
No,
to
right,
suggestions.
right.
I don't mind it being a homeless shelter, to be honest with you. They're very clean when they do stay in there. I don't have any issues with them. Ken Locke actually sends them over. So it's just a place to sleep. You got a roof over your head.
Sure. Right.
Basically is what it is.
Right.
I have more trouble with kids other than I do the homeless people that go in there.
Sure.
And they're usually out, because Ken says be out by 7, and they usually are. So
Yeah.
that's not at all. I'm just, I had a big piece of topping came off the railing. It's a big concrete slab that went down that I'm getting ready to repair. And I probably will until we make a decision, but it's gonna have to have some paint and some stuff. And I thought, do I put money into this or not?
Yeah.
Inside, so you know, is a lot of history, old stones, different stuff. That would get moved to that cold storage. I would not get rid of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Okay.
But we boarded it shut. We don't even use it underneath there. So it's like I say, for me, I'm just torn. And I don't mind spending money on it. We're not talking thousands and thousands of dollars. But do I, just for the integrity, or do we take it down? So that's why I'm kind of leaning on you guys.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I'm sensitive to maybe the community's fondness of a potential landmark. It does concern me that, I mean, it is a building that needs, as you said, needs work. That's only going to continue as time goes on. I'd be concerned of any liability issues we might face, people staying there in a building that is deteriorating. Sorry.
No, it's not at that point, right? To be honest with you, it's not. This is cosmetic repair. It's a concrete base. Most of it's concrete and brick.
Sure.
But right now, it's not. That's why I'm saying now's the time. if you're
Understand
going
that,
to.
I understand
Okay,
that.
I'm with you. I just want to make sure.
understand that completely. I guess what
Yeah.
I'm saying is you're asking us, do I continue to put money in this, or basically, it's take it down, let it go, or put money in it, right?
Yep.
So letting it go, it becomes, the liability risk increases as it goes, potentially.
Yeah, if it's not taken care of. Yes.
So, with that said, I mean, if there's not a really if there's no, if it's not being used pragmatically by the cemetery, it seems to me, if you at least take care of the things that are inside, which you said you will, put those in cold storage. I mean, I think it's worth waiting to get an idea from what the community thinks of it, you know.
And I'm open to that too. I just wanted to start with you guys, and I think that's a good way to go. Because I'm torn either way. It's a nice little building. I mean, we do maintenance all the time. It used to be, to be quite honest with you, every year, we would do something because the Legion used it, and they don't. And so, I mean, I try to make a point to get back there, because, I mean, we mow back there, but I don't get back there a lot. And like I say, it wouldn't take, structure-wise, I probably could do most of it. I might have some fabricator come in and wrap it in aluminum, which would make it last longer.
You know, and frankly, hell, there might be folks out there that have such a fondness for this, that they might be willing to donate their time and help out with a lot of that.
Could be, and like I say, a lot of it is, like structural, it's sound, there's
Sure.
nothing there. The gutter is smashed mainly because one of the big trees that we had to cut down, some of it fell on it, so the guttering is minor that I can have fixed. The underneath carriage is all the way open, and what I would probably do if we stayed it, I would strip it and put aluminum underneath and close that extra part off, just so birds don't have some place to stay and it's harder to clean. So I can make it into the 21st century and look fine. And like I say, it's got a new steel roof on it. So like I say, structurally is no big deal. The back doors are all wooden and we had it broke into, or somebody wanted to see what was in there. There's nothing they could lift out of there, to be honest with you. It's like stones and stuff. So we just put some boards across and screwed it up. So, and you can't get into. It just is, I was back there a few months ago and I'm like, yeah, I thought I'd just bring it to you and see what you want to do. And like I'm okay either way. Like I say, to repair it, we're not talking a ton. Structurally, it's fine. And if we just want to get it out, maybe do a survey or something to the people and see what they think, I'm okay with that too.
I think that might be a good way to go, Al, is just kind of get a survey from people and as to what,
Okay.
you know, I mean, if 80% of the people said, we really don't care, tear it down, go for it. You know, if you got 50, if it's split 50-50, then we get to make the decision.
That's fine. This is nothing that has to be done tomorrow.
No,
I would say,
no.
I would say in the meantime, by all means, but do I think you should make this a priority? Month after month, you've got a list of things you got going on.
Right.
You're not bored, so
Right,
I wouldn't borrow anything.
No, and the little stuff I'm repairing now is no big deal.
Right.
It's just if we're going to, I'm gonna pull the trigger and do it right and get it so it stays.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll get with you later on and another one that we can put it out. And most people may go, preacher stand, what's that? I don't know. I don't know how many will know what this is. But so you guys understand too, there's no agenda here. I don't
Right.
have anything to replace it. Well, no, at one time I thought it'd be cool, like the park, put a little amphitheater, but it'd be so small and it really won't work. It would just be mobile ground. I would not use it because we have, all our utilities go through there. I would never use it for burial, anything like that, couldn't be. There's just not enough room with all this stuff going through it. So there's no agenda of me doing anything else with it. So if it's throwing a few bucks in it, make it look nice, like I say, the big part's done, the roof is done.
Yeah.
So anyway, just play, Arthur, anything? Are you all good with what we're talking about?
No, like, I get all the different angles, and I think that the survey's the way to go also. Especially because we don't really know what the cost of this is gonna be moving forward, so we need to know, you know, how much support the community has behind it before making a decision anyway, right?
Correct. Cosmetic, I can give you a rough idea if you don't hold me to it. I'm gonna say no more than $5,000-6,000
Okay.
if I do most of the work.
But do you have the time to, do you have the bandwidth to add that to your?
Yeah, I'll get it done. It's
All right.
Not a big deal. But like I say, it's not falling apart. I want people to understand that. It's not
Right.
at all. It's
Okay.
just me doing my job, going out, going, that's about time, we gotta repaint, do something.
Right.
Well, to get my part-time up in that rafters and with rollers and do this, I thought, nah, I'm gonna put aluminum across it. It's fine, though. So that I can do, that's not a big deal. Okay, well, we'll just continue on. We'll go through that. The big one I want you to understand is the next one. It says the Ford and Chevy dump truck beds were repaired at the street department mechanics. One, I want to give them a big praise. I don't know if you know the story. Last year, to be a good steward, I tried to change the equipment, why we have good trade-in value and all that. I headed out last year in the Chevy dump truck, which I'm sorry, I don't remember the year. And I hit the front gate and I looked down at the speedometer at 9,000 miles on it. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The bed was terrible, but I couldn't do it. So I took it to Damien, because they're the ones that put my other new one together. And I said, what do you think? Guys, hell, we'll put new steel in it, we'll do this. And we liked the electric hydraulic. They were electric because the hydraulic helps us get up and down a little quicker. And I said, okay. I said, and I can buy another bed from W.A. Jones. How do you want to do this? No, we'll rebuild the other one. I'm like, all right. So to give you an idea of cost, to buy a bed at W.A. Jones, now you gotta remember there's no labor in this is just material. To get all this stuff to do it, I don't know the steel prices, but I'm gonna say probably $14,000 to do that truck, okay? They did the Ford and the Chevy. Now, you understand, the whole bed was taken off, one was fixed, the other one did need a little bit of work, and they were both sandblasted and powder coated, and I have just a little under $10,000 in both of them. So I've got two more newer functioning trucks that have 9,000 miles on it that were okay. They're running great. The guys, mechanics looked it over, they said there's no reason to trade. Because part of my brain is to be a good steward, you know, and trade in value, but not at 9,000. Nah, I can't, so.
Right,
Anyway, when we do resell, of course, they'll be worth more anyway, because the beds are fixed.
yeah.
Anyway, so they worked on that. They gave us another dump truck throughout the summer to help us. So I wanted to make sure you guys understood that. So that saved us some money in the equipment fund, excuse me. So you know the front gate, I have already set on winter hours, mainly because of people going in after the dark. A few Mondays ago, I didn't get called, I beat the call, but I looked over the cemetery from where I live, it's full of red lights and big lights and all sorts of stuff, so I booked over there. We had a gentleman in there decide to shoot some guns off, some pistols. He came out Legion. I don't know if you know when you come out, you have that S-turn. He made it through the S-turn. Got about halfway down, huge tree on the right. He hit it, went airborne, flipped several times, and ended up in Legion 1, upside down, and the whole top of the roof was down. It was upside down. So his axle would have been sitting on a two-piece stone, but it was the top part, it was upside down. So I got there, looked at the officer, they were called in, so there was two vehicles. So we had firemen with big lights, even the car carrier had big lights. And we're looking for the other car or the other person that might be shot or whatever for, I don't know, several hours. We found nobody. We didn't find any bullet holes. Anything else, the gentleman in the vehicle was okay. He was drunk. He didn't have a scratch on him, so he left.
Why he was okay.
Yeah, right.
The crew, the police and the fire helped me set the stone up, helped me clean up. In the morning, I spray painted the tree where he tore the bark off just to kind of save it, swept some glass up, fixed some sod, it wasn't bad at all. Detectives came out the following day to look, we found out, he had a parent out there just to see if we could find any brass or anything like that, could not. So this was called in by a citizen, so we don't know what it was, so we had a late night anyway. So I decided it's time to shut the gates at 7, so they're there. So we can kind of keep people out for a little bit. It gets dark at 7:30 anyway, so we went ahead and went to winter hours. So part of the fun at Oakwood Cemetery is, you know,
Just part of the fun.
just part of the fun. So anyway, everybody's out. I did have on here, but today the Alliance came in and serviced all the furnaces, so they're ready to go for winter. It wasn't much, which is cool, so everything was working good. I think, except so you understand what we're doing now, if you love to rake nuts, come on out. We have tons, I think, between walnuts and acorns so far, we've taken out at least 3 dump truck loads, but you're more than welcome to come out if you need some. Or if there's some you want to take home, you're more than welcome. Do have a couple people out there taking hickory nuts and whatever. I told them, please take all they can get, help to load them in the truck. If they want me to, we can. So feel free. We're doing that, still mowing. Like I say, doing quite a few burials. We're getting ready for leaf season is what we're doing, trying to get all the nuts up. We've been kind of beat up on blades and stuff, so it's nuts, I guess. The walnuts, I have raked 4 times and they're still falling, and I got hit today. That was no fun. It's hazmat, with all these falling. I got whacked today on the shoulder, so. But anyway, part of the fun we got. Everything else going fine. The guys are working great. Haven't had any complaints. Other than that, sir, I don't have anything else unless we have some questions.
Anybody have anything?
Nope.
No.
Oh, for you two, I'm sorry, one other thing. And here, you don't see it, these two do. The notary has come out now with a test.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, I missed the test, so my notary ran out. So I got with Kelly to see what I had to do, which I'll have to rebond, take a test or whatever. And I said, Kelly, this is the only thing I notarize, okay? So I said, how bad? She sent me this 60-page thing to study. And I got talking to her and she said, I've been a notary since I was 18. And she goes, it took me 2 hours on the test. So I went to her and said, you know, this is the only thing I notarize. She can notarize for me, and that's why she's on the new one, and I've got the old ones here. We talked some, and this is where I have to get the attorney involved. This is not sent to the county anymore.
Okay.
Okay, I think they did it back in the day because it was like property sale. This is basically right to burial. And I don't know how legal our documents have to be, if they really have to be notarized.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go to Scott doing it, but currently Kelly's gonna notarize them for me. I don't see me wasting the city's money. I mean, if they want me to, it's not part of my job description, but I will if they want me to take the test, but, are you? So you're already taking the test?
The test is news to me. I mean, I've been a notary.
Okay, but as of September, if you didn't go online and take the test, you're no good.
Okay.
You have to pay a $50 fee and take this test. And she said, it's amazing. See, I don't understand all the different stuff. I notarize, I get that,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah.
legal, but she said, it's amazing. I started reading this 60-page thing and I'm like, I'm not gonna do that, I don't need to. And I don't want, I'm not that I'm gonna fail, but why waste the money if we have notaries or if this needs to be? And so that's kind of where I'm heading. I wanted you to understand that. If he says it has to be a legal document, it's fine, I'm gonna have Kelly do it. There's just no reason for the city to pay for me to be a notary, for what, just doing this.
Yeah.
But yeah, you better check into that before you.
I notarized a lot of stuff today, so I.
Did you?
No, I just
Oh,
kidding.
well, see, mine didn't run out till 2023, but since I missed that test, I'm done.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said you can't, if you don't take this test, pay the $50 and take the test, you're not, it's new standards. So so you may want to check into that.
No, I'm definitely going to.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah, no, that's not one of the.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm not trying to get out of the test, I just don't see why when I.
On the
go
record,
to
it's
anything.
fine.
It's okay, yeah. So I don't know, I mean, if it still needs to be legal, we still notarize, and Kelly will do it for me.
Perfect.
So, anyway, that's it, I'm sorry, anything else?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. The 4th, be with you. November, the 4th be with you.
All right, good.
You too, man.
How many did you take out?
I'm guessing, we probably have taken 3 or 4 right now, but come on out, you basically walk across the acorns, you don't walk across the grass. We found out backpack blowers work great. We're blowing, it's hacking us.
We got 3 deer in our yard that take care of a lot of our acorns.
I would love to have them, but that deer kill has been doing really well.
Yeah. So,